to my YouTube channel. My name is Pierre-Paul, Design Studio Solutions Specialist from Autodesk. If you watched my previous videos, then you know that we use the Dynamo player to recall the last Dynamo script we used, so the tubular offset script. And that tubular offset script offsets the surface a certain amount and makes a tubular offset of another amount. So here, if I say select surface, select this one to do a surface offset of, let's say 38, and a tubular offset, let's say 20, and build. So now it's offset at 38 from this side in this direction with a tubular of 20 all the way around, and you can't update that as much as you like. And we can also do it in for this surface here. So select this surface, offset down 70 with a tubular round of 20. Say build. It takes a little longer, it's a little more complicated, and there you go. So just one surface, offset at 70 with a constant tubular offset here of 20. Okay, so if I delete that, and now I say, how is that going to work with multiple surfaces? So if I pull up the same rough layout with multiple surfaces, 3 surfaces on each. Okay, what's going to happen? So let's put the player, and let's launch the same script, and I say select your surfaces, 70 and 20, let's leave it. So what's going to happen? So here, as you can see, it makes 3 surfaces, and the problem is here, it's not doing the whole thing at once, it's doing the operation on each and every surface. And here you can also see the, if you have your tubular offset, if you have your orientation a certain way, here it's not flipped the other way. So those 3 are red, means that it's going to offset towards me where I want to offset the other way. So here you need to make sure that you flip those surfaces if you want to offset in that direction. So now if I try it again and do the player and keep the same numbers, and again it's going to offset in this direction with the way I want it to offset in the right direction, but it's giving me 3 surfaces offset all 3 the same way, but then the tubular offset is applied within each surface but not to the whole body, which I want that to be to the whole body. So what can we do? So if we go back to the player, and I'm going to edit in Dynamo the actual script. If I pull up the Dynamo script, that's what we left it last time. I cleaned it a little bit just to make this tubular offset group it as 1, and this regular surface offset as 1, intersect both, and then set it to alias. Alright, so then the issue is when you have multiple surfaces, it's not treating them as such. So what we can do is if we say poly surface, you say poly surface, here it says poly surface by joint surfaces, so I'm gonna click on that. And also this is where the beauty of having your script in a nice and tidy order, which I really encourage everybody to do, just have everything nice and tidy so it's easier to revisit later. So now I'm gonna, all these surfaces, if there's more than one, I'm gonna go ahead and make them join as one. So if I go to my geometry list and then poly surface and feed that back into the script and see what happens. So here I'm gonna save that script as a multiple. So file, save as multi, hit save, yes. Okay, so now let's go back to alias and recall that script. Make everything else invisible. Use the player and say, okay, select my surfaces. Let's go, I don't know, 100 and tubular offset of 10 and say build. And it's a little more complex operation, I think, here. Okay, so it didn't work. On the offset, basically, instead of keeping one surface, it did do the offset correctly, but it did transfer into multiple surfaces. So what I want to do is I want to keep the offset surface into one surface. So what we need to do is join all the surfaces as a multi-surface, a poly surface, to make sure it's just one surface only. Okay. So if we look at the script here, what's going on is that when you offset the surface, it's disintegrating. So let's make sure that we get a nice one surface at the exit of the offset. So if we do poly surface again, or I could copy that one, but that's okay. Poly surface by joint surfaces again. What I'm just going to put it here. What if I said, okay, let me put this in here. So it's part of this node, and then I'm gonna hit, let's see, Shift Alt to the poly surface here, and then connect this like so. So now I make sure that is one complete poly surface on the offset and being used in the tubular offset group, and later on for the intersection. So let me save that script here. Okay, now let's make sure it works correctly in the player. So in player, open the multi-surface that I just saved. So select my surfaces, select those. I don't know, type in 50. Here I'm going to type in 20 and hit build. It's taking a little time. It's a little more complex script than the single surface. See what happens. There we go. It did build it. It is a multi-surface result in the bottom. So what if I increase the tubular offset? Hit update. Well, there you go. We have an offset, a tubular offset for multiple surfaces. The script is in the link description. Please let me know how it works for you. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll catch you next time.